people, especially in northern Tohoku. In addition, there is now a grave issue of radioactive contamination. Aftershocks are still continuing every day in Japan. Japan is an island country with frequent earthquakes. Earthquakes have brought about many tragedies and problems. I would like to know what you know about the Fukushima. Three years ago, Fukushima's population 90,000 people. I am also very worried about nuclear power plants. It is my belief that there is no peaceful use of nuclear energy. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Thank you. Thank you, my friends. Thank you. It uses uranium and plutonium, the materials which are also used to make nuclear weapons. First of all, uranium was used for the Hiroshima atomic bomb, and plutonium was used for the Nagasaki atomic bomb. I am also concerned about human errors. In Japan, we have very serious problems due to the accident at the Fukushima Daiichi nuclear power plant. There are serious problems with the number 1, 2, 3, 4 reactors, and with the number, and maybe with the number 5 and 6 reactors also. So, the Prime Minister Abe decided a week ago that number 5 and 6 reactors are going to be closed down. I received email. We are now faced with the problems for radioactive contamination. However, there are 54 reactors in Japan. Very scary. The radioactive material may have spread to the Pacific Ocean. I'd like to apologize to the world for the serious problems this could cause. For example, radioactive materials released by the accident can accumulate in children's thyroid glands. This increases the risk of thyroid cancer. Iodine is a radioactive element. Health professionals have been examining 36,000 children, ages 18 or younger at the time of the accident at Fukushima Daiichi nuclear power plant. The normal rate of thyroid cancer in children is 1 in hundreds of thousands, but 18 children in Fukushima prefecture have been diagnosed with thyroid cancer. And Fukushima's damaged nuclear power plants, there is a massive underground reservoir of contaminated water that began spilling from the plant after the 2/11 earthquake and going slowly into the Pacific Ocean. The national government and Fukushima prefecture are planning to return people to their houses located in the areas highly contaminated with radiation. I can't understand this policy of returning people to such places. The current permissible level of radiation after the accident is 20 times higher than the legal dose limit of 1 sievert. Another issue of concern is the further spread of radioactive contamination through incineration of contaminated debris, and distribution of contaminated food and other material. This is a really serious issue for a small country like Japan. Now in Japan, young mothers and fathers and other people worry about internal exposure to radiation, soil pollution, and agricultural products contamination. I strongly believe that people in Fukushima, especially babies, children, and pregnant women, should be evacuated from Fukushima as soon as possible. Nuclear energy has caused separation and discrimination in our society. So I ask, what is the solution to this major problem? I feel the only way for us to survive is to abolish both nuclear weapons and nuclear power plants in the world. Thank you very much.
Nuclear industrial complex in the world, and what you talk about is something that's on a much longer, smaller scale, but and not happening right away, right here in Albuquerque, because there's a thing called the Sandia Mixed Waste Landfill, and the government decided it was too expensive to clean it up. You know, it's down on Kirtland Air Force Base, and we had a citizen action group fighting for years to try to get them to clean it up. No way did they clean it up. They finally, what they did is just cover it with dirt. And you know, there is some evidence that the wind and animals running around there and stuff might spread that a little bit. And just recently now, you're not hearing anything about that. We can't get any news out on it. But what's happening is that there's big development, and right next to it, Mesa del Sol community. And just recently, they were so proud announcing in the newspaper that a veteran who'd been in Afghanistan and lost his leg was given a home for his family in Mesa del Sol. What are we going to do to stop this shit?
Tell me how you really feel. Got a 4-letter word.
Next question.
She says she understands your point of view very clearly.
Do you and do other Japanese in general feel that TEPCO and the Japanese government is incompetent or has been lying to you? It seems that they're guilty of one thing or the other, gross incompetence in how they handle this, or that they are just lying to you about the severity of what has happened, about what they're doing to try and stop it. It seems like every time we see something on the internet or in our newspapers, it's a description of some failure of some type of barrier that was put up to be a barrier and letting contaminated water flow to the sea. It just seems like 2.5 years out, and nobody knows what they're doing or has any real sense where to go. Could you comment, please?
Thank you for your good question. I say Japanese. 先ほどの女性の方もおっしゃったように、この原発のなんでしょう、汚染というものについて、私たちこの人類が生きている間では解決できない問題になってしまいました。なぜならばウランから人工の科学者の手によって生み出されたプルトニウムは何百万年経ってもその汚染は消えないものですね。
And as the prior person spoke about, is that what this is indeed a really big problem, is because the half-lives of all the materials involved really kind of goes beyond each of our individual lifespans, and this is a very serious problem because it continues, and it's very difficult to come to a quick solution to because of the longevity of the problem involved.
そしてこの核の、ゴミですね、ウエストについても私たちは今私たちが生きているこのジェネレーションがどういうふうにやったら責任を取れるか、責任は取れないと思います。生み出されたものがあまりにもひどく悪魔的で大きなものであるからですけれども、これ以上私たちはこの汚染を広げないで、核のゴミを増やさない、燃やさない、これが地中にいくら埋めたとしても、これは私たちの子々孫々、未来の地球人がどうやってこれを防ぐのでしょうか、守れるのでしょうか。地球規模で汚されます。
And indeed, with as you mentioned, that the problems with dealing with nuclear waste, where she really feels that the most important thing is to stop producing it because currently we have no way to deal with the waste we have created, and this is a problem that we are leaving to our children's children's children. It's because we have no effective way to deal in the long term with the waste that's created through nuclear power plant generation, and that this, you can't burn it, you can't bury it well enough, and so this is indeed something that we, as people of our generation, are really unable to take responsibility for because we can't deal with the situation in the now because it will take many years out, and so we have to do something now to stop the increase in stop producing things that make nuclear waste.
個人的な私の活動を皆様にお伝えしますと、今月ですね、今月の17日に実は広島市の市議会へ広島の近くにあるニュークリアパワープランツの再稼働をやめるように議会の方に提出。
Okay.
In one paragraph or less.
I will do my best to remember all of that. So she says on a personal level, what she is doing on a personal level to kind of pursue this vision is that recently there's been discussion of reopening a nuclear reactor close to Hiroshima, and so she's been involved in going and visiting prefectural assemblymen and speaking to the prefectural government about stopping doing that. And she said, unfortunately, the last time they got people together, there were only a couple of assemblymen who actually were there and listened, and that is kind of a depressing thing. She said that kind of nationally, that's kind of an ongoing issue, trying to get more people to listen, especially in positions of government, more people to listen to their concerns. And as she mentioned before, talking about just the difficulties of dealing with issues of things with very, very long radioactive half-lives, looking at nuclear waste, looking at the fact that Chernobyl is still hot and will be hot for several hundred years, and when you have these kinds of problems, these kinds of accidents that have no quick solutions, it's really important to really work on the technology in order to try to find solutions as quickly as possible that we have to these problems that we have created without having a solution to the problems they created in the first place. And then I kind of lost the
Thank you very much, all of vigor and enthusiasm and information. My question is about TEPCO's current plan to freeze walls under the sea to contain the leaks of radioactive water now. And so everybody who's interested knows you can watch NHK English World on internet every night or every day, and keep it in the corner of your online screen on the internet, and you can see live NHK news every day on the current status of the Fukushima radioactive water leaks. So it's free. Thank you. And I'm very curious about how under the sea freezing walls are going to be sustained to contain the immediate leaks which are very serious yesterday and today, and the attempt to create frozen walls to protect this radioactive material. It seems very bizarre, but everyone can watch this up-to-date daily news, free, NHK English World or NHK World English.
はい、承知しております。ありがとうございます。NHK の放送、そして、とりわけ多くの日本のメディアは本当のことを語りません。
So indeed, most of the Japanese media is not, doing reporting as much as possible, and the reporting is generally very lax in terms of how critical they are with what the situation actually is.
その氷の壁を作るというのは全くのウェストフル、無駄遣いです。テプコの財務状況ととても関連しています。テプコを破産させない政府は、そして私たちの税金でテプコを助け、そして政府のお金でこの福島原発をきっとこれからも、続けていくんだと思います。ですがこれからの先、今全く解決できてないんです、実は。はい。
As she's mentioned before,
のことでいつも渋っております。払いません。そこで私たちこのように皆様がここにお集まりくださいました。これからもずっと日本のこと、福島の原発のことを長くずっと続けて、いろんなニュースもご覧になっていただきたいと思います。これから福島ではいろんな発症が起こると思います。そしてチェルノブイリよりも早くアイオダインキャンサー出ると思います。タイロイドキャンサーが発症すると思います。でもありがとうございます。
And so indeed, along with, please, keep looking for the news and what's happening in Fukushima, and we're looking for, we're working hard to try to find ways to, find solutions to these problems. And thanks you for your time and for coming to things like this and keeping your awareness up. Be aware that these problems aren't going away soon, and that she's very angry that TEPCO takes absolutely no responsibility whatsoever for the scale of the disaster that happened. But just thank you very much for coming to a place like this where you can learn more about what's going on.
Thank you to Shoko. If you had any other questions to ask, we'll need to do it after this is over. We're running a little bit behind, and there's actually another schedule or another event that's actually going from 6 to 8 with the rest of the group. So you can ask your question afterwards. We really have to get going, okay?
Mary Oishi is emceeing with a boogie woogie pianist, and they're in on it too. So, and you can converse with them during a potluck. We do have an announcement about a petition we're sending around. You may know that I'm here to start an Asian American Studies program, and I want to collaborate with Peace Studies. And I've been in Hiroshima. I'm going to be meeting with university people next week, and my proposal is to start a cultural exchange and research exchange between UNM and the World Friendship Center that sponsored us. So more about that, but I see all these votes here, and I just have the idea that I would send this piece of paper around, and if you're interested in something like that and would like to sign it, we would appreciate it very much.
Maybe you should have someone. Yeah, have it up at the table.
So we're going to move on to our final speaker, who is Akiko Awa.
Come to the table and sign a petition. That would be okay.
There's no he said to come to the table. I mean, we don't have any more time. Okay, let's not have this. Let's end this. Let's give her some nice closure here.
3 minutes, just an introduction, because after this very heated discussion, I don't need to say anything. And I came here and I wanted to say about the danger of radiation, because I was born in the eastern part part of Hiroshima Prefecture, which was about 60 miles from Hiroshima City. None of my relatives or families were affected directly from the atomic bombing in Hiroshima. So people tend to talk about the victim side when something happens. But in my case, I cannot be so much sympathized with the A-bombing in Hiroshima very much until I moved to Hiroshima. After I got married, I moved to Hiroshima. And for the first time, I realized the importance of this issue. And now I'm working as a volunteer guide in the Atomic Bomb Museum. And at that time, I always emphasized that the hibakusha are not only from Hiroshima and Nagasaki. All over the world, there are many, many hibakusha, the victims of radiation from the hydrogen bomb testing in the Pacific Ocean near the Marshall Islands, and also from the nuclear power plants. In 1986, Chernobyl's nuclear power accident occurred, and after that, many children from that contaminated area came to Hiroshima because Red Cross organization or the groups invited them to Hiroshima because Hiroshima's doctors know how to deal with the radiation sickness. But actually, it's very difficult to deal with radiation sickness. And after that, Fukushima's accident occurred. And every time something happens, they say it's the responsibility of the Japanese government, this responsibility of the electric power company. But how about the responsibility of citizens? Citizens allowed them to make nuclear reactors, and during the World War, my father had fought in China, and the aggression, how about the aggression of Japanese military? So the first thing we have to do is, what is the citizen's responsibility for the future? So now we are facing to the hazard of nuclear power plants. So we have to think, every individual person has to think, we should accept these nuclear facilities, we should accept that nuclear weapons. That is most important. And during the Cold War time, even in Japan, many people, I studied Russian language because I wanted to know Russian people. But if I studied, when I was studying Russian language, some people said maybe I'm a communist or something. Maybe that aspect is much stronger in America. And so when something is happening, what's the most important thing to, as a citizen? So that aspect I would like to emphasize. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, we're going to do one question, and then for anybody who would like to ask questions of any of our guest speakers today, you can do it in the 10 minutes that we're going to take to set everything up for the potluck and everything. So one question.
I just want to say.
Sweat.
Yes, okay. I just want to say that obviously because of the atomic bomb situation in history, and also now the nuclear plant problem in Japan, obviously Japan is our teacher about this subject. And you know, it's up to all of us to kind of wake up and understand what they're teaching us and to become world people, because this is an issue that is not only about Japan, it's about the world and the future of our world. So if anybody wants to research more information about the Fukushima incident, what's happening right now, it's very easy to go online and to see how much foreign people have contributed to the situation there. Foreignvolunteers.org, a man named Bob Stigler has an organization called ResilientJapan.org. Anyway, it's very easy to find, and lots of inspirational things are happening in Japan. And you know, with people like you and me are doing that. And it's just by listening to their stories that somebody decided to make a trip to Japan and help And that's what's needed now, because the world needs to understand what's going on. So thank you all to do that.
All right, everybody. So we need to set up for.
One more question.
Okay.
If I could, this is not a question of the panel who have been outstanding, but I am an online instructor, and I have never met I've only met one of my students. And so if anybody is here from the Peace and Conflict online class, anybody? I'm your prop. If you can stay for a little at the potluck, we can even say hello and be human at each other. Which has a lot to do, by the way, with the people power that can help us to resist things like expansions of nuclear weapons and nuclear power. We need to get to know each other.
Community.
Excellent point. All right, everybody, so let's give a big round of applause to our presenters. Thank you so much for coming over from Japan. Greatly appreciate it. I know some of you will be leaving, some of you will be staying for the potluck that's running from 6 o'clock to 8 o'clock. Mary Oishi is going to be emceeing that portion of what's going on tonight. In the meantime, for the next 10 minutes or so, anybody who would like to give us a hand, we need to set up some more tables, kind of following the pattern that we have, and we're moving some chairs around. Feel free to ask some questions of folks. I'm sure they're open to that. And thank you for everybody for coming.
This program that I'm taping here tonight, I'm Alan Cooper with Quote Unquote, is sponsored by, it was being held at the Peace and Justice Center, Peace Hall, at Stanford and Silver, Southeast in Albuquerque, New Mexico. And Desi Brown can be contacted for further information at unmpeacestudies@gmail.com, unmpeacestudies@gmail.com, or you can call him at 505-256-0668, 256-0668. And this is recorded on the 30th of September, 2013.
To all Americans of Japanese descent, of traveling to Hiroshima this August and to be part of the commemoration there and to put on a play that Nikki wrote called Breaking the Silence. And we got to meet these wonderful people from the World Friendship Center, and Herb invited them all to come here, both to Seattle and to Albuquerque. They were very interested in being ambassadors for peace. So thank you for showing up. We're going to have a really packed next 45 minutes here for you, and at the end of the night we'll give you a chance to sing along with some peace songs if you'd like to do that, and civil rights songs. I invited my dear friend Halima Christie to come tonight, and she's a great boogie-woogie piano player, played with Janis Joplin and all kinds of famous people. Wow. And so anyway, all right, so without further ado, I would like to introduce Joanne Sims, who is one of the former directors of the World Friendship Center in Hiroshima that helped to plan our trip there and their trip here. So please give a warm welcome to Joanne Sims.
Thank you for coming tonight. It really is a pleasure to be in Albuquerque. We just came from the Seattle area where they had the record-breaking rainiest day since 1948. And we are so enjoying beautiful, sunny Albuquerque today. The World Friendship Center is a Japanese peace organization founded by Barbara Reynolds, an American, nearly 50 years ago. She felt so strongly that the stories of the survivors of the atomic bomb were so compelling and that reached and touched the hearts of everyone that in order to promote peace, she wanted as many people as possible to hear the story. So the World Friendship Center has that goal, to tell the story of Hiroshima from a personal perspective in hopes there will never ever be the horror of an atomic war for anyone, anywhere on this earth. The second goal of World Friendship Center is really to work for nuclear weapon disarmament. So they do many kinds of peace activities. And one of them is, every 3 or 4 years, they send a group from Hiroshima to other countries to tell the stories so that they can promote peace. The motto of World Friendship Center is to foster peace, one friend at a time. And so it is because of that goal and that mission of World Friendship Center that we are here this evening. So thank you very much. My husband in the blue shirt back there, he joined me with when we spent just recently 2 years as volunteer directors of the World Friendship Center. We returned home, USA home, July 8th of this year, and then began working to put this all together with the capable help of many people here in Albuquerque, in Portland, and in Seattle. So thank you again.
Thank you, Joanne. All right, I'd like to introduce our panel tonight. The first one is such a dear person to me because he took me to my very first Obon Odori, which is a dance to bring back the ancestors. And I very much appreciated that. And we also went and had great sushi on our way there, a bunch of us. And I hate to admit how many tiles I stacked up. But So-san is 72 years old. He was a child walking to school with his older sister on August 6, 1945. And his story includes interest in the environment and the long-term health effects of radiation. So would you please go up and take a seat at the panel? Thank you. So was also interviewed today by Paul Ingalls of KUNM, and there should be a segment on Wednesday morning's news show about So. All right, Michiko is 64 years old. Her mother broke the silence of her experience in Hiroshima only 1 year ago. Often people who are traumatized wait a very long time to talk about it. So Michiko, please go to the stage. Thank you. The next one is Akiko, and I met her at the potluck in Hiroshima, and she really impressed me as a really dynamic human being. So I'm so happy that she's here in my town now. Her world travels to nuclear test sites and to nuclear accident sites, so she has a lot of information about the damage of nuclear weapons and nuclear power. Akiko-san. I'm sorry, I sometimes forget the honorable syllable after the name. Yoko-san she has a lot of information about gaijin, or outsiders, who helped to rebuild Hiroshima, such as the Barbara Reynolds, who founded the World Friendship Center. So, Yoko-san, please join the others on the stage. They're going to give a few minutes each, 2 or 3 minutes, where they talk about why they're here, and then you can come up to the microphone. I don't know where in the middle. Oh, in the middle, and ask them questions afterwards. So we'll do that too. But first, we'll let them speak. So first, So, please.
Let me sing all Japanese song. 夕焼け小焼けの赤とんぼ
She needs to pick up the mic.
You have to use the microphone.
させてください。3分って言われたんで、急に言われてちょっとできないのですいません。私は今回母の被爆体験をプレゼンしてます。母は19歳で被爆しました。爆心地から近かったため、家の中にはいたんですけども、ガラスで顔や足の方に傷がたくさんありました。で、どうにか助かったんですけども、兄弟弟3人はやはり50歳60歳で、肺がんで亡くなってしまいました。今兄弟はいなく1人になりました。でも母はやはり今強く平和を訴えております。お願いします。
So I'm sorry, this is very brief in 3 minutes. It's kind of hard to get all of this across, but I came here to tell the story of my mother. My mother was 19 at the time of the bomb, and because her house was so close to school, she had not left for school, and so she was inside when the bomb went off. However, all the walls and the windows were blown out, and she was scarred with the broken glass. She was left with many scars. She survived, but all of her siblings have since passed away from various cancers as effects of the bomb. And her mother is still alive and still healthy at this point.
Hello, my name is Akiko Awa. I'm here because I'm not so serious activist, but I'm interested in world global issue. And during the Cold War time, I was studying Russian language, and that the Chernobyl's nuclear power plant's accident occurred. And about several years after that accident, the Japanese doctors or Red Cross organization invited the children from that contaminated area, and I was asked to take care of them in my very poor Russian language, and also I had some educational background of medical science. And after that I started to think about the atomic bombing on Hiroshima and also radiation issue. So my starting point about this kind of thing is more rather than atomic bomb on Hiroshima, but nuclear power plant accident. And I think that citizens' responsibility is very, very powerful, very important. And people tend to talk about the tragic, something happens, always the victim's side. But in my case, I'd like to think about these things more objectively. During the war, World War II, my father fought in China. So Japanese military's aggressive, very aggression was have to be discussed. And also, bombing on Hiroshima was tragedy for Japanese people. But other major cities like Tokyo or Nagoya or Fukuoka, these major cities were also bombed, as well as Dresden or many German cities. And also in Russia, 1 million people were killed during the several days fighting in Stalingrad, Volgograd now. So when we think about the tragedy of wars or tragedy of any kind of accidents, we always think about not only from the victim's side, but also the responsibility of the civilian side. So now when we think about the future of nuclear power plants, we still can do something from the citizen side. So in order to talk about this kind of aspect, I came to America. And also I wanted to meet Joan and Larry. That's the most important motivation that this time I come here. Thank you.
My name is Yoko Imada です。日本語で話します。広島は一瞬のうちにたくさんの家が失われました。そこで家を失った人たちのために一人のアメリカ人の人たちが広島に来て21軒の家を建ててくれました。
So I'm here from Hiroshima to talk about the fact that on that morning, many people lost their homes in Hiroshima. And I'm here to tell the story about Americans who came to Hiroshima to try to build homes for people who had lost everything. And that group came and they made 21 houses.
たくさんの家が必要な時にわずか21軒ですけれども、広島の人たちはとてもありがたく感謝しています。そしてその気持ちをこれから平和な世界を築く子どもたちに伝えようと思って、子どもたちに紙芝居をこのようなものを作って、そして子どもたちに伝えています。
So even though there were so many people that didn't have houses, and the group was only able to make 21 houses, the people of Hiroshima are still very thankful for the efforts of this group to come over and try to build houses for peace. And her story is that she has worked very hard to be able to tell the story of this group, such that she has created a large series of picture stories that she can then take to the children and show children what happened, and to tell the story of the people that came to Hiroshima to build houses to encourage peaceful relations.
その中の一件が今、平和記念資料館の分館として開設されました。世界中の人々からたくさんの与えられた、寄せられた感謝の気持ちの展示をこの中でしております。そこで私は案内をしております。
So one of these houses, it's the last house that is standing, and it was used as a community center for many years. And they've just completed moving it slightly in order to make room for airmen, as they've now turned it into a museum honoring the memory of the groups that came to Hiroshima in the aftermath of the war to build houses. And they've got many different articles and exhibits from people from all over the world who have brought them there to be just put on display there at the museum as a monument to international understanding.
その人の名前はフロイド・シュモーさんで、この場にフロイド・シュモーさんに会われた方があそこの黄色のシャツの人でいらっしゃいます。
And the person who did this, who was in charge of the project, name is Floyd Schmo. And it's called the Floyd Schmo House. And actually there's one person here today, over there in the yellow, and she's actually met Floyd Schmo. She met him in Seattle.
Well, even better, 2 New Mexico students went to Seattle at Reverend Schmo's invitation to inaugurate a Sadako Children's Peace Statue. And it was 2 years before they built the Peace Statue in New Mexico. Bonnie Malcolm and Dana Kaplan, and I think there was another boy, David Rosa. 3 New Mexican students in the 3rd, 4th, and 5th grades were invited by this wonderful man to, in his later years, he was inaugurating a peace statue on an intersection outside of Seattle, and the New Mexico children were invited to be present and to introduce their idea to build their children's peace statue. So we have a big connection with our heart with this man and his amazing work to build. Just looking at all that. So please look at this album at the table afterwards. Thank you.
You know, before we get to our questions, thank you for coming tonight. Before we get to our questions for the panel, would the rest of the delegation from Hiroshima please stand?
Oh, that's good. Yeah.
The rest of the delegation, please. Everyone else who came from Hiroshima, so we can welcome them. Okay, so if you have a question for any of the panelists, I should have a sign in front of them what their name is, but if you would like to come up to the microphone, and I guess this gentleman will translate for you and for them if they don't speak English. Okay, does anyone have a question? Because you just sang a song, so how about if you tell a little bit about what happened to you that day?
Like a moment?
Just the first couple pages, just what happened to you that day.
two people out of a large number of people there. One was a junior high school student. He was burned all over his face, and his nostrils were clogged by peeled skin. He was breathing painfully through his mouth. My mother removes the skin out of his nostril with tweezers. It looked very painful. He must have worn a cap. His hair remained only in the part covered by the cap. The other was a young girl. She was burned and the pattern of her dress were printed on her arm. You have had the experience of burn, haven't you? Even small burn hurt very much. I wonder how badly those two people suffered from the burn.
Presentation, and all of these folks who are with us are going to be doing various presentations around the state in different schools and organizations, but the story for him was that his sister jumped on top of him when the bomb went off, and they were kind of in almost like the outskirts of town, and so his sister died of radiation from the black rain that fell afterwards, and he has been struggling with cancer, is right now in remission, but she saved his life by getting on top of him, but he lost many family members and school mates and all of that. So his story was quite moving to me when he told it in Hiroshima. But he's such a wonderful man. He was just like, when he was at Obon, he was dancing like a happy schoolboy. It was quite fun. So does anyone have a question for any of the panelists, or do you want to hear more of their? Yes, please go up to the microphone in the center there.
日本語で最初に質問させてください。どうして夕焼け小焼けの歌を歌われたのですか？ I was wondering, why did you sing that song?
もうしっかり私は被爆体験その他非常に辛い話をしてますので、あえて私は日本の古い歌を歌いました。
So he says that it's quite a difficult memory to speak about, and it's kind of a hard thing, but it feels like he wants to sing that to help him feel better.
What does the song mean? I know that, but she's asking.
Yes.
Could you explain a little bit of the meaning of the song?
もうちょっと詳しく歌の意味を、詳しくその歌のもうちょっと詳しくその歌の意味を。
何か原爆と関係してらっしゃるところが。
Title is Red Dragonfly. Very famous old Japanese. Don't you know?
I know that. I was just not.
Yeah, representing this.
What is it? Shall we translate?
I'll sing. Dragonflies as red as sunset, back when I was young. In twilight skies on her back I'd ride when the day was done. So maybe you understand the atmosphere of this song.
Thank you.
Can I ask one more question? その歌はなんか戦争の時に出稼ぎに出てた女性の歌だって聞いたことがあるんですけど、何か今回の原爆と何か関係があったのでしょうか。
So our question is,
I heard the song was about the women who was working outside when during the wartime. So does it have anything to do with nuclear weapon?
No, I chose this song because this is a very beautiful song, and this is a story of a very poor Japanese. Before the war, people's life was very, very poor. And this is not the song during the wartime, but many very poor girls or farmers had to go to the city to work for some rich people. And this girl is still 13 years old or 14 years old. And so when at the sunset time, she is thinking about her hometown and her parents, her family, and still when she saw a lot of dragonflies, she was very comforted. It's not because of the atomic bomb.
わかりました。どうもありがとうございました。Thank you so much.
So they're doing a lot of singing. Apparently that makes them feel good to do that here. So why don't, oh, you have another question? After her question, maybe you could have your choir come up and do a number. Several of them here, I heard them do a beautiful concert at church there when we were there. So, okay.
It's not really a question, it's more of a comment. I don't know for how many people I'm speaking, but I just want to apologize on the behalf of the American people. We're deeply ashamed that we're the only country in the world that has dropped atomic weapons. And we're deeply ashamed of the damage it did to your family. That's it.
You said that for me.
特に質問はないんですけど、ちょっと特にはコメントでここに来てる人々のいろいろ同じ気持ちだと思いますが、結局すごくなんていうか被爆を落とされたのはアメリカがやったのはすごく謝りたいです。すごく自分の国としてはちょっともうすごく恥なことなんで、だからそれはもう心からそれもうみんなに伝えたかっただけです。
I wish to ask one question if we do the fun part.
I was trained in Seattle to be a Nichiren Daishonin Buddhist back in 1965. And I have never understood how your people could be as spiritual as you are and survive what has taken place. So it isn't really a question as much as that I'm very impressed. And you're here talking about it, and thank you.
皆様方がこの辛い思い出を経験して、この勇気を出してこれがみんなここでアメリカ人に来てそういうような、この演説するのはすごくもう光栄なことだと思います。
Good evening. My name is Mervyn Tilden. I'm from a place called Church Rock, New Mexico, the site of the worst accident in the United States history with nuclear development. The company Hydro Resources Incorporated is making plans to start up this uranium mine again. And so it's been over 30 years that we have been trying to stop this mine. What is the most important thing that we can do as a community, international community, to unite and help bring understanding to put a stop to the extraction of uranium, to the nuclear development, where like here in Albuquerque there's over 2,000 warheads? That's my question.
ニューメキシコのある都市はね、この辺の一番アメリカ国内最大の、原子力物の、事故があったところで、そこの同じ会社がまたここのユランの鉱山をまたやり始まろうとしてるんで、この30年間かけてそのウランの鉱山をやめようとしてるんですけど、どういうふうに、地域としては市民としては
中国電力という電力会社が中国地方に電力を供給しています。その中国電力は山口県の上関というところに新たな原子力発電所を作ろうとしています。私は作ってほしくないので何べんもそこに行って一番、激しい運動をしたのはその工事現場に
So he relates the story that in Hiroshima, one of the power companies wanted to make a new nuclear power plant, and to start working it, and he very much opposed that, so he did what he could do, so he went up to the construction area and he laid down in front of it. And he said that is what all else fails. You just have to lay down your body to try to stop things.
I would like to add, through our efforts in helping our own government understand, a little over 5 years ago, the Navajo Nation has passed a tribal resolution and an executive order banning the extraction and development of uranium anywhere on the Navajo reservation.
Yes. 方がナバホ、ここの辺のアメリカ原民族のナバホ一族のナバホ国としては、このナバホの全ての管理している地域はウランの鉱山は一切しないように今法律を立ちました。
My life is very simple. I don't drive any cars. And I hang the laundry in the sun. So we don't need to change the sun rays into energy or electricity. In that way, we can reduce the amount of energy to consume. That aspect is also very important. Changing our lifestyle, not to buy too much energy.
Voice.
Okay.
Thank you for being here tonight. Last year on Hiroshima Day, Unoccupy and some other groups got together and we went to the Los Alamos labs and we closed them down for the day. We completely interrupted their business for the day. It was a third of the people in this room. So if this many people showed up when we did those kinds of things, it would be amazing. But one of the things is that it was completely militarized. There were tanks, there were guns, there were drones. So the regime here is so brutal that people are afraid to step out. And I'm just wondering if the Japanese regime is the same response. Are they equally as violent?
で去年皆様最初は皆さん来てくれてありがとうございました。で去年ここの辺のいろんな平和団体のグループが、広島の日っていうのは8月の6日にそのいろんなグループの人たちがみんな集まってロサルマスという原子力研究所のところにいて、そこでみんな集まってもう一日ストップをしました。もう出入りはみんなそこの従業員とかみんなでもう出入りはできなくなってそこに一日ストップしてなんだけどここはそれは成功にしたんですけどそこら辺の整備がねすごく軍隊的な整備がもうたくさんでここら辺の政治も結局例えばアメリカみたいに機動隊とかさ軍の採用する
機動隊を私の場合は私の経験では機動隊の必要はなかったですけどもしっかり公安警察
There really wasn't that much of a very militarized police response, so the SWAT teams weren't out, but the police were out in force, and the police also keep a very detailed account of who are members of the group and who to keep watch for. That's what his experience is.
Sounds like America.
デモする場合には公安に届けでなければならないということが大きくあります。そしてデモの先頭をしているというような状況です。無届けというのは許されないというのが一応原則にはなっています。
So in Japan, it's a very relatively structured society. It's very important that it's very difficult to have an organized protest without getting permits. And while the permits are not especially difficult to get by, they are still very, you can't really do any kind of a large-scale protest without any kind of permitting. And getting the permit, the police will be there, to kind of block the way, to move the way for you, but they're also there really to watch you as well, to see it's all part of the demonstration. So.
私の孫さんと同じ、メンバーの一人なんですけれども、
広島に来てから毎月一度中国電力本社の前で凱旋活動をしています。アンチ原発運動とつながっていて、上関ネットワークというところからニュースがあるたびに送っています。その中心人物、コアになる人は数人で、私たちにもいろんなことを教えてくれます。足元にある地元に名を連ねました。
So she wants to build on what Soa talked about earlier. Is that as part of a group, they meet one time a month in front of the offices of Chugoku Electric, which is in charge of some of the power of the nuclear power plants, and they do one day a month protests at the office, telling the employees and the president of their desire for ending of nuclear power. And they have a whole email network set across the country to send out to other people of like-minded individuals and groups to do the same kinds of protests at other power agencies across Japan.
I have a little experience with this. About 2 years ago, I went to Japan to volunteer after the tsunami hit northern Japan, and I had to wait in Osaka before going up to Tokyo because there wasn't enough bottled water available at the time, and then wait there before going up further north. But I got a message while I was in Osaka that there was going to be a march through the center of Osaka, like a Fifth Avenue type of area, all the way down to what would be Wall Street in Manhattan. And there were about 2,500 people that marched, and by the time we got down, it had grown to about 4,000 people. And there were policemen lining the way, and they were a little firm with us sometimes, but it seemed that they were only firm when people were straying out into the street or getting into the traffic, and they would kind of stop the cars to help keep us safe. So that seemed to be their main purpose. They were playing a supportive role.
でこの間昨日の2年前に広島で東北の大震災の時にボランティア活動としては行こうとしたんですが、その当時は大阪でなんか道のデモがあって、でそのデモの始まりがね2500人の人が始まったんですけど、結局悪いところはもう4000人まで増えてきて。
Konnichiwa. My grandpa, Harrison Begay, fought during World War II, and his Indian name was he who went to war and came back again. And he was a very special gentleman. And he gave me my Indian name, which is Escapes the Enemy. And I feel that I've been very lucky in that our children, my children have been lucky in that they have not been part of war. And my heart goes out to you for your experiences, because I have a great love for humanity and grandmas and grandpas and brothers and sisters and babies. And I know my grandpa loved Japanese people, and he went and visited as an artist, and they liked his artwork. But I just want to say that in Indian time, we have a calendar that ties us from South America to North America, and there's a great span of time where we have gone through 13 heavens and 9 hells, and the year that we are in is the last cycle of the hell cycle, which correlates to 1492. Except this time, the pendulum is swinging the other way. And so in the next 26 years, they say that the holy people are being born again in our children. and the next generation will create the next world. And so my hope is that your message can go to our children as well, and I wish there was more children here to hear your story, because I think it's very important to share with them the history so that it will not be repeated. So much love to you and peace.
この方のおじいさんがやっぱり第二回世界大戦で戦ってでそこの原民族の原民語の名前とは戦争に出かけて帰ってきたものというのが付けられてでそれで今の方々が、まあ、敵から救われたという名前がありましてですごく自分と自分の子供がすごく運が良くてもう戦争に経験したことはないからそれがすごくいいことでもう皆様の方の話を聞いて心すごく悲しいことが聞いたんですもう特には私はもう高齢者子供たちすごい尊敬してて私の戦争に出かけたおじいさんもやっぱり芸術家で日本の方々がすごくおじいさんが作った芸術品をすごく好まれてもう何でも日本人にも結構関係ができましたでさっき一番最後に話したことは国の原民族では時間のことにちょっと説明したんですけどもうその方々の、時間の話によりましたね13年間の天国があって9年間の地獄があってで今年はその地獄年とは一番最後でこれから26年間はそれより地獄から天国へ行く、時間になりますからこれから我々の子供たちがもっといい世界ができるようにもう大変祈っていますもしもここにまた子供たちはまだ来てなくてもっと子供たちが皆さんの話を聞いてほしかったんですけどそれはすごく皆さん子供がその話を聞くととても大切なことだって
Thank you. This will be the last question because these folks are probably suffering from jet lag and don't want to stay here till 10 o'clock or anything. So, your question or comment, please?
Yes, my name is Susan, and I've lived here in Albuquerque for 25 years. And my memory of Japanese protest, maybe 20 years ago, was that the young people would get out there in the streets and arm themselves with shields and with sticks, and they would fight. They were ready for a fight with the police. And you know, if we were to do that here, not even half of that equipment, we get hit with wooden bullets, rubber bullets, and when we try to defend ourselves in the courts and tell the authorities that they are beating us up, the jury finds us guilty. So it's very hard. And here in Albuquerque, I'm going to be 66, so I can remember a lot of war protests. My family is from a Jewish background, so I know how ugly people can be against people. And I've always been brought up told about Hiroshima and Nagasaki, and I understand there was a third bomb we almost dropped in. And I've always been against that. And I understand that it was a political reason why the U.S. did that, because the war was about to be over and would have been over, and there's just no decent human excuse to have done that, except to show the Russians that we had this weapon. And at this point, from what we understand and what we read about Fukushima, is that the Japanese people have successfully gotten all the nuclear reactors to close, or are going to close.
Already closed.
Good job.
To reopen. And the Japanese people's opinion is 50-50 now. Just after the Fukushima accident, the majority of people...
Use the mic. Use the mic.
The most Japanese people opposed against the reopening of nuclear reactors. And 1 year ago, 2 reactors started to operate. Maybe the Japanese government wanted to show that nuclear reactor is not so dangerous, safe. But again, they already closed. So now, no nuclear reactors in Japan is operating. One other comment is that here in Albuquerque, I belong to a group called AVA, and we're trying to get the city council and the water utility authority to admit and to do something about the plutonium that we're drinking in our water. And when I stood up to speak, this woman in front of me was standing up at the same time. So could you just let one more talk, one more question?
Yeah. Very, very briefly, please, because the choir is going to sing and there's announcements and all sorts of things.
Let me calm down, please. Bring it down to short here, and so it will be short. Just one, perhaps, comment to the audience as well. You spoke in the...
Very powerful.
You spoke in the earlier session about the Atomic Museum at Hiroshima. And I was thinking about the fact that, God help us, we have an atomic museum here in Albuquerque. And it's a very different kind of museum, believe me. It glorifies those same bombs that your museum represents the reality of. And our school children go on field trips to learn science at the Atomic Museum. There's even a cute little Einstein to welcome them. And I was thinking, they need, you always resist and oppose things, and then that gets complicated. What we need to do is to add more. If they are visiting an atomic museum, we need to find a way that they can virtually visit the other atomic museum.
Yeah.
And just offer that to our schools, rather than saying, no, don't take our children to that museum that glorifies the bomb. We just need to add something. Now, this is the museum they have where that bomb landed, children. And these are the pictures they have there. So, this is our work, not yours. But it is our work.
Yes.
Thank you. 今話したのは、やっぱりこの辺のアルブクルキーは、原爆の博物館があって、でそれが結局、これは、その原爆弾っていうの、原爆の博物館で原子力とか原爆弾についていろいろあるんですけど、その避難者が全くされなくて、ただそのすごい技術とかさ、すごい技とかさ、すごいなんかその原爆がすごく良かったこととばかりも展示されてて、その人の意見によってやっぱりどうかその博物館と広島の平和博物館とちょっとある程度できるだけつないで、子どもたちが遠足に行くときに、原爆弾が作った人々の話だけではなくて、原爆に落とされた人の話も見られるようになるとすごくいいことだと思います。でそれが我々このアルブクルキの市民のしなきゃいけないことなんです。
I don't think so. Nikki has the whole schedule, and mostly they're just going from one speech to another, or one presentation to another.
I've turned on more requests than I can fill. This is their only full day in Albuquerque. Tomorrow, well, in the morning, we're splitting up into two groups. One group is going to Santa Fe to yet another school. We're visiting 3 schools, the other group, before we leave Albuquerque to join up there. Their Nuclear Watch and Pax Christi are giving them a potluck. The next day they go to Los Alamos. The next day they come back and we take them to the airport. So 2015 is the 70th anniversary of the end of World War II. This is a good time. You know, I feel like this has been a rehearsal for me.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, to learning how to do this, coordinating everything, meeting people. So 2015, that's our target.
Yay.
Okay, a couple quick announcements before the choir sings. One is, pardon? Yes. Yeah, you can do that. They don't really need it though. It's pretty small. They can just walk along the front. Okay. One thing is, Alan says if you want a DVD copy of tonight, you can see him and leave your name and address or information. He'll get in touch with you. The other announcement is that 2 of the women on the panel need a ride back to their homestay, which is at near Academy and Tramway. If anyone lives in the far northeast Heights or would be willing to drive there tonight after the meeting, please see Chisao, who is sitting, Chisao Hata. They're staying with Tomoko and Glenn Perry from Seed University? Anyway. Okay, the other announcement was a million-man march.
Million people march.
Million people march.
Let him speak, he's loud.
On November 5th. And, yeah.
All right, anyways, it's the
He's loud.
March. And what it is it's a group of like-minded individuals that all feel that this government is not doing its part to represent the people. This is a government of the people, for the people, by the people, but the government is not doing that.
Somebody's
so,
great. It's all right. Thank you.
This is basically
I told you it was loud.
From all spectrums of political groups, from conservative to liberal.
Just the pertinent details, please, because we have more announcements and we want to get them home.
All right, 5th of November, 7 a.m., Washington Monument.
All right, you got it. All right, there is also a petition here on behalf of UNM Peace Studies Program and UNM Asian American Studies to support research and cultural exchange between UNM and the World Friendship Center based in Hiroshima, Japan. If you would like to sign this, please do. And before the choir sings, I do also want to thank Kyle Sims, who was wonderful to translate for us tonight. Thank you, Kyle. All right, so would the members of the choir please come up, and after that we'll have a little bit of where we can all sing, and maybe we can hold hands and do a little round the world peace.
We shall overcome.
Peace energy thing. All right, so this is the wonderful choir from Hiroshima. This is just part of the choir. It's a great big choir, but the ones who are here tonight are going to grace us with a beautiful song.
Atomic bombing in Hiroshima, and after that, these cherry trees have a lot of flowers every spring, and encouraging the people who are suffering from the atomic bomb. And the second song is My Home. My Country Home. So everyone has a My Country Home, and maybe the same story. We have the very lovely memories of childhood, playing around by the river or in the mountains. So 2 songs. Yes.
One
Can we have all the people from Hiroshima come up and take a bow? No? That's fine. That's all right. They already came.
All 16.
Yes, they already came.
All 16
Huh? Well, I think they kind of already dispersed. So, who's in the mood to join hands and sing a song before we go?
How about This Little Light of Mine?
This Little Light of Mine?
Yeah.
Okay, we can do that. Can we do that? This Little Light of Mine? I'm gonna let it shine, oh, this little light of mine. I'm gonna let it shine, this little light of mine. I'm gonna let it shine, let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. All over Albuquerque, all over Albuquerque. I'm gonna let it shine, all over Albuquerque. I'm gonna let it shine, all over Albuquerque. I'm gonna let it shine, let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Shine, 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 shine. I'm gonna let it shine. Shine, 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 shine. I'm gonna let it shine. Shine, 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 shine. I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Woo! Yeah, that's enough. Well, I haven't sung that song. All right, thank you so much. They requested that all the people come up here for a photo opportunity. The Peace Center would like to take some pictures of all the people from Hiroshima. Could you please come up to the stage?
I did already. People asking for directions. It's a friend of because of her they don't. But I also know they don't take the picture quickly. I saw you right now. Yeah, a woman at dinner. And you watch out very well.
Remember I sang from New Mexico? And Holly introduced her to their high school.
Hey, can you or
Oh, you're, thank you for.
Took my job. Relieve my
Well, we'll get it out. We'll be able to get it out.
one of our t-shirts like that? Show up. He lives in town.
I made a lot of copies.
Oh, so such a dog. Really?
Do you have a copy of I heard that you're I'll email it to you tonight.
Great, thank you. How are you doing, Mary? Good to hear that. Your team showed up?
Yes. At least 3.
If I had a program, what a project, they could help start a virtual atomic museum.
This is one of the orange. Now 6 in first grade, and we're growing up. And I hear all the field trips that the public school has to decide, and I know what place to take it. It does happen so that just like it's bad, it's so yeah.
Well, the beauty of that is it would be kind of political suicide for them to do something.
That's what I was thinking.
You know, all they gotta do is have a big speech. Like let's start with the team.
Okay, exactly. Yeah. But you know, just and even if I'm interested enough in their development, just to have somewhere in the city a virtual space of the Atomic Museum in Hiroshima, and then this not no one will show them that, but you can do everybody tell the story, tell the book. That way you can help people and smile and help them with the history.
I think somebody from the security study program actually showed up tonight for the first part of it. Yeah, he emailed me on Friday and chastised me for calling it the atomic bomb. But I wrote it back and I was like, sorry, that was a typo at work.
I haven't done its latest iteration, but I was doing a internship with the Center for Action Contemplation years ago, and we toured the earlier. It really is the atomic bomb. They immortalized the bomb. This was back east, but she didn't know, but I think she thought it was going to be like a program in which sort of special scenes type of thing. She came in and it was so cute and fell out to touch the bomb. She burst into tears. We had to comfort her and calm her down. She couldn't kind of so cheery about it.